Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another vid. Now, I peeped out that interview on Seconds Out. Shout out to Radio Raheem. He was the one who conducted the interview with Kathy Duva, during, in LA, where I'm from. The press conference, the third leg, the third day of the promotional tour for the Kovalev Award rematch fight that's going to take place in a couple of months. Can't wait for that. Now, in that in that interview, it's titled Kathy Kovalev promoter Kathy Duva. She claims Andre Ward refused international judges, claims everybody hates America. Now, I listened to it, and there was a couple of things that stood out. Now, Kathy Duva did not say that Andre Ward chose the judges. Okay, let's get that straight, because I'm seeing some guys going around making comments, making videos that Andre Ward is being a diva again. He's choosing judges. Now the fix is in. Okay. First things first. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be very impartial. Andre Ward did not choose the judges. Kathy Duva did not say that. Let me reiterate. She did not say that he chose the judges for this fight. It was the Nevada Athletic State Commission that assigns the judges. Okay, they're the ones who assign judges to fights that get sanctioned in their state. Okay, now I'm not sure how the rules are unless the promoters are approved the judges. Then okay, they finalize on it. I guess Ward finalized on it, and Kathy Duva did not want to finalize on it because she felt that there should be some judges. Their judges should not be American based. They should be international judges that should not be based not only in America, they should not be based in Russia. So to be honest with you, I think that would be fair. I think Andre Ward should have agreed to that, but apparently he did not want to contest the ruling by NSAC. So, he and Rock Nation are the lead promoters. They're the ones who are going to okay it, and unfortunately, Duva has to comply with it. All right. So that's why she's very concerned about this. And she also went on to say that this situation reminds me of the first Kovalev Ward fight. It also reminds me of Chavez and Whitaker, which you all remember. That was a blatant robbery back in '94. It also reminds her of Holyfield Lewis, the first fight. And now, as much as I love Evander Holyfield, he did lose that first fight. He got dominated in that fight by Lewis. Okay, and he was given a gift draw. We all can concede to that fact. But what I find very, very interesting about that is because Kathy Duva was promoting both Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. Okay, and Don King was the lead promoter because he's the one who put up the money for the fight. So at that time, as I recall, Kathy Duva agreed with the judge's decision back then with the draw. Now she's coming out saying that that was a robbery. It should not have not been ruled a draw. Lennox Lewis was more worthy of that decision. So I find that very strange that there's a bit of a double standard here when it comes to her position on judges here. And let me also remind Kathy Duva that your guy Sergey Kovalev some people believe got a gift decision over Darnell Boone in the first fight in Georgia. Okay, he got a split decision in a fight that he got knocked all over the place in the ring, where he was struggling against a very hard punching journeyman Darnell Boone. Now, some people say that Kovalev is the hardest puncher at light heavyweight. Well, Kovalev can contest and tell you, I believe this is what he said. Darnell Boone was probably the hardest puncher that he ever faced, and he punches hella hard. And this is a guy who fights in between middleweight and up to light heavyweight. And it's amazing how he can carry power, or super middleweight by that matter. It's amazing how he can carry his power between those three weights. But, I'm getting sidetracked here. But, yeah, some people felt he got a gift decision over Darnell Boone in the first fight, those who witnessed it. He didn't complain about American judges, or you, Kathy, didn't complain about American judges when they awarded your fighter the decision over Bernard Hopkins, a legend, a guy who was the A side, Golden Boy. He got the decision, which was the right call. So why are you guys complaining about American judges now, Kathy? I just don't quite understand your logic here. And the one thing I gotta say is too, sometimes you gotta take things that Kathy Duva say as a grain of salt. And let me remind you that this is the same individual who lobbied the WBC to get Sergey Kovalev, her fighter, to be installed as the mandatory challenger to Adonis Stevenson's WBC title, which is totally unheard of because Kovalev is a champion with the other sanctioning bodies. A champion does not become a mandatory challenger to another champion's title. That has never been done before. I mean, to some degree now. In recent times, we had Golovkin be installed as a mandatory challenger to Canelo's title with the WBC. So it seems like the WBC is the only sanctioned organization that does these things, which is very weird. But anyhow, and as I criticized Stevenson and his management for ducking the first Kovalev fight during, their disputes with the contracts with the networks of HBO and so forth, and they bailed out the Showtime. Yeah, Stevenson and his team definitely need to be ridiculed for that. But however, you have to be very impartial here. Kovalev and his promoter got what they want for the WBC. They were installed as the mandatory, and Stevenson, was obviously the champion. So Stevenson and his team were trying to get the fight done, right? But for some odd reason whatsoever, they couldn't come to terms, so they had to go to a purse bid. As soon as the purse bid was announced, Kathy Duva pulls out. Came up with all kind of bullshit excuses why they pulled out of the damn purse bid. Talk about, we had some exclusivity issues with HBO, blah, 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 which is all bullshit. Okay, we know it's bullshit because fighters from other networks fight fighters from other networks fight cross, we call it cross networks all the time, cross promotions all the goddamn time. So, she should know better than that. She's been in that situation before with her husband, her late husband. So why would she come up with that bullshit excuse? And let me tell you why I think she pulled out that purse bid. And I have every reason to believe this is why she did it. Okay? She did it because, one, she knew goddamn well she was not going to win the purse bid against Al Heyman with his money machine. Number two, I don't think she had no intentions of having Kovalev fighting Stevenson. Why? Because she was hoping that Stevenson was going to vacate as soon as Kovalev was named a mandatory challenger, right? As soon as he didn't vacate Stevenson, they just decided to back out. To me, that's inexcusable, and Kovalev and Duva deserve ridicule for ducking that fight. It's amazing that those who despise Adonis Stevenson cannot have that impartiality. They could not see that from an unbiased view. Totally inexcusable, and it's totally crazy that they still blame Stevenson for the reason why Kovalev and Duva pulled out of the purse bid. Wow, okay, it is what it is. And also, we can't also forget about the stunt she pulled last year when the first Kovalev and Ward fight was announced on the first media tour, which she openly had to admit why Andre Ward didn't make it to the damn first day of the first press conference of their first fight last year, while all the Ward detractors jumped on it, and and shit backfired in their face. They accused Andre Ward for being a coward, and they refused to offer any rebuttals to their stupid ass mistake right there. But it is what it is, though. Okay, so yeah, let me be impartial here. I'll give Kathy Duva the benefit of the doubt, because Andre Ward has yet to respond to this yet, but he does have to come out and address it. And I'm sure he's going to address it. Someone's going to bring it up into his intention, say, look, did you refuse Kathy Duva's request to get international judges other from the United States and Russia? So yeah, he deserves, he does deserve to provide an answer to this. I've seen people jumping on this already, saying Ward's a diva, Kovalev's going to get screwed again, blah, blah, blah. Well, again, let me remind you guys that Kovalev and in the first fight, they were the lead promoters. They were the ones who approved of the judges in the beginning. They had no problem with American judges in their previous fights, but now all of a sudden they have a problem with American judges. I just don't understand that logic. I really don't. Given the fact that American judges gave Kovalev a decision over Bernard Hopkins, rightfully so, gave him a split decision, which some people felt he lost that fight to Darnell Boone the first time in Atlanta, Georgia. So, come on. Be consistent, Cavi. Be consistent. Again, like I said, you got to give Ward a chance to respond. So let's see what he says here. And another thing I got to point out is that someone brought this to my attention, is that Sergey Kovalev looks kind of chubby. He doesn't look like he's in fighting shape. And and that's a good point. So I don't know what's going on there. And like I said, his behavior has been very, very strange the last few days. But anyways, I'm gonna post a link to the interview so you guys take a look at it. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm out.